Be live. Alright, please bear with me while I try to get things working on the YouTube tool side here, because it's not always the cleanest attempted task. Yeah, it's already giving me issues. There we go. That should be good. Alright, sorry about that. So, been a minute since my last stream, and I want to cover why, and I also want to show that, as you can see, I did do a little bit of grinding in between. I didn't want to go too crazy, so I just kind of brought everybody up to about level 24 and said, you know what, I seem to be doing well enough in this area, let's just push forward, and then, well, life kind of happened. So I'm going to tell that story while I keep going through here. And I do want to say ahead of time, if you hear anything weird in the background, just know that I am not streaming from my usual location with my usual setup. You know, like I said, life things happened. So, as you know, or if you've been following anything, I'm currently kind of in between jobs still, because holiday time is a pain in the ass to try and find a job and a hell of a time to lose a job. Anyways, in this time, my brother totaled his vehicle, got in a very terrible accident. So a lot of that is getting dealt with, and from there I have been doing a lot of family driving around, getting things going, making sure things, you know, stay afloat on a lot of... Wow, I'm getting my ass kicked. Hold on here. I thought I was better off than where I am, apparently. No, I just had healers that were taking a good long time to actually start healing. Fair enough. Okay, so, continuing where I was then. Yeah, my mother had an accident happen. She's also little under the weather, and so from that, it was a fall. And so I have been dealing with that as well. So yeah, it's just... things fell apart for a little bit, and I had to try and balance all of that with, you know, whatever degree of social life I thought I was going to try to work into the mix. So, YouTube is the thing that had to get cut out for a while, and long story short, I am back. Longer story. Shortened. Anyways, I think, yeah, that got me right through there on the auto battle, keeping that right where I was. So, we have not been here yet. So, this is Marriott. This is amazing, Alex. They built a city entirely out of wooden planks suspended over water. No, the amazing part is that it's somehow still clean. Where's all the algae? Regardless, let's look for the Magic Guild test giver who's in this town. The Magic Guild? I thought I was joining the Thieves Guild. Please tell me that was some sort of weird typo thing. Or better yet, I was just brain dead and read the wrong thing. Alright, Wrath Ring increases attack power. Yes, please. Can other people get that? Alright, so everybody can wield that. That is actually also going to give our boy Trump here a defense boost. He's going to lose the Wisdom, which tells me that our other characters would lose it as well. I kind of feel like that really only matters most for him, so... because I think everybody else is mostly non-damaging. No, Jessica is non-damaging. I think Mia has a couple of damaging skills. Yeah, there we go. So I want to swap this over. There we go. Which one of these is going to up? Angel Ring, Resurrect, Defense on Water and Wind. I guess we'll take that. Yeah, I'm just going to have to call that good enough. And let's put the Wrath Ring on Jessica. I think that makes a little bit more sense anyways. She's a little bit of a fire spirit. And of course, got to put that on... oh, I can't remember his name. He just joined us last time. Point is, dealt with there, items bought. Probably spent a lot of money. Where are the weapons and armor? Wherever those are, I need to go spend way too much money. Alright, there's some armor shops. Welcome in, Pay. Welcome in, Richard. How are things going? Hopefully things are going well. Just trying to get back into the swing of things right now. And also make sure that the whole party is lined up where they need to be. And that actually seems like some pretty good defense buffs, but I don't want to lose. I assume that's got to be like magic resistance. Alright, just a straight up defense buff. I'll take that. Same thing with the headgear. I thought that was a staff. A hairpin makes more sense. Alright, what do we got here? Bracelet. And honestly, he's already coming wielding most of that stuff. Alright, so last thing here. Bracelet. Nope, can't get the bracelet, just the hairpin. Alright, armor up. I kind of got to be a little picking and choosing with the weapons once I find where that store is at. Mostly because I don't necessarily value like the weapons in this game as much as I do armor. A lot of, from what I recall, and again, a lot of this is me trying to play through this as best I can off memory. A lot of your big damage amplification is going to be coming from your skills and how you're using those. Another locked chest. Now, I'm assuming, because again, I don't remember a whole lot of this back end of the game, that once we join this Thieves Guild, we're going to have some sort of way to backtrack and get all of those chests opened up. Oh, that doesn't seem good. 30 minutes till the shift at the club. Work the restaurant in the morning, then club again tomorrow night. Yeah, so you are doing another one of those shifts where it's just maybe, if you're lucky, like what, a half hour in between, maybe you get some rest on the bus ride or something. I hate to ask because I don't really want to know the answer if it's gonna be where I think it's gonna go. How many nights like that have you had recently, man? Hey, what are those strange sounds just now? The creak and the crack. I think the bridge just moved. I don't believe this was such a good idea. We should turn back. Alright, so the bridge... Clearly the problem is... look at how everybody else around town moves. They all knew full well that some of these areas have limited... Oh shit, everybody's separated. You're kind of limited as to who can walk when and where. You kind of gotta pace yourself. And we decided we were gonna walk around as a big group of, what, 5 people? Man, I'm soaked. Why'd you have to make such a big splash? Yeah. Sorry about that, Nal. Couldn't help it. Everyone else alright? I don't know about everyone else, but Nash is over there. I mean, that's a start. Let's go, Alex. Alright, gotta make my way around, gather up the crew again. Hey, Alex. Nice of you to drop by and pick up the pieces. Well, at least we were here to do it. To do it for you, whiner. Well, I mean, that is kind of his entire character persona here. Last weekend, I went from 6 a.m. Friday morning until 9 p.m. Sunday night before getting home. Alright, I guess I have a follow-up question, if you don't mind me asking on YouTube as far as any of that goes. A while back, you were looking at a whole workplace shift, and as I understand it, a lot of this nightclub, restaurant stuff was kind of a side job, sort of, you know, second job, whatever you want to call it. What happened to that original plan, and are things at least kind of in a place where things make a little bit of sense? I also know you were talking about like maybe trying to move back home or move closer to family or something. If you don't mind me asking, I'm just curious. I want to know, how things are going with you, because I know things can be a little rough. And with the holiday seasons coming up, and frankly, just the passage of time, things don't oftentimes just start getting easier. So I worry about you, man. Look over there. Jess is by that house. Let's go get her. I could have gone around the other way, but I mean, at this point, I might as well pick Mia up. Well, okay. I'm kind of curious what's going on with that. Someone's trying to hit on Mia after literally falling in the water. Kind of a slimeball move. Oh, no, it's over now. Just let them be. We need to get going. If we let this guy off the hook, he'll try this again with someone else. I mean, that is kind of how that works. Okay, really, really bad take now, where I say something possibly really stupid. I have someone that I've spoken with recently, and they know how I feel, and they kind of understand my perspective on all of it. But I want to get this thought out there because I think it's kind of important. If you are going to be assaulted on in the way that YouTube would not like me speaking about, screw it, I'm going to speak about it anyways, but if you're going to be assaulted in that way, or worse, God forbid, and you don't speak up about it, there is obviously going to be sympathy for you down the line when it comes up and the trauma comes into play. Like, absolutely, people are still going to feel emotional about what you went through. But don't expect that to lead to favors or whatever. Whatever you think you're going to build into by using it as a weapon. If you're talking about a situation where that happened to you and you didn't pursue it, like if you didn't push into criminal charges on whoever did that, like there's an eventual point where I get it. A lot of people don't like to talk about it, but clearly you're past that. And whenever you got past it, did you go to the police? Did you make something out of this? And if it was so far gone that you're in that position, I'm sorry, you let a criminal get off. And you did let and I feel bad for you on that. But like, I'm not gonna let that offer onto you anything as far as, sympathy, yes. Beyond that, no. And I would be a little more forgiving on the mindset that leads to that for people who tried, especially people who tried to do the right thing and had it fall through the cracks because, again, things don't go the way we wish they would all the time. So that's my dumb take, and that's the thing that's going to irritate a lot of people, but I wanted to get that out there because if anybody is ever going through that, I want you to use the full weight of the of whatever you can as a legal structure to go after those kind of people, because I do not ever want to have the option or door even opened for them to reoffend on someone else or even worse, you a second time. No, the restaurant is full time. It just opened, so I'm moving again next month. Okay, so the restaurant is full-time, just opened, and you're moving again next month. Is this move going to be like an upward trajectory? Is this going to make things easier for you at all? Better on travel time? I don't mean to be all fingers in, but I am looking for the good side because I want there to be good things in your life and for everybody. So that's kind of, if I'm prying too far, just tell me to shut up, please. Oh, never mind. Let's go, Mia. No. I'm not gonna just never mind. Yeah, can we just like push him in? take your imbalanced perception of reality and beat it, bub. Well, you know, not even exactly harsh words, but it's better than what everybody else was agreeing to. I'll give you that, Nash. Alex, I'm so glad you finally came. This place is crawling with creeps trying to hit on me. Well, we've already ran into at least one of those. Duty calls. I think you should punch their lights out. No, I appreciate the sentiment, but let's just get out of here. I think she's right, Alex. This place gives me the willies. Speaking of which, where's Kyle? I bet that two-timing womanizer is at the pub. Let's go. Oh, Kyle, please don't be at the pub. And if you are, just like circumstantially, right? Like the place that's washed you up there. Fate did it to you. You didn't pick it. I think this was the pub up here. Nope. Oh, you finally made it. That's the test giver there. This is my party, and I invited him over for a little brew belching. We started talking about the guild, and it was a cinch. Hey, come over here. Hey, Alex, what took you so long? He sobered up quick. You know, that was pretty dumb to try and cross that rotted bridge. Well, Mr. Safety, I think you fell in the drink too. What's your excuse? I was just trying not to make waves. Alex is supposed to be the leader here. Hey, kiddies, I heard some important stuff while I was waiting for you. Heard about a tower south of here called Damon's Spire. There's supposed to be some kind of jewel in this thing worth a lot of dough. If you give it to the guild chief in Reza, he's supposed to give you membership. Isn't where the Keeper of Knowledge is supposed to reside? I don't know about no knowledge, but yeah, you're probably right. We should check it out. I love that. Hey, isn't this like supposed to be a big dangerous place with some sort of big mythos around it? Yeah. Let's go break all of it. Oh, I almost forgot. In order to enter Damon's Spire, you have to know the secret words. I heard they're written in the notebook that the guy lent me. Define lent to you. Okay then. We're off to Damon's Spire to the south. Got it. Objective earned. Oh, jeez. Hey, Kyle, you're gonna pay the bar tab, right? Shut it! We'll let that wasted guy pick up the tab. Let's just get out of here. Kyle, what am I ever gonna do with you? Honestly, out of the women in our party, anyone that's gonna be crossing the bounds with Jessica is already dealing with problems. She is definitely well equipped to solve whatever issues she's gonna face. I swear I was only at the pub with a friend. Ignore the stripper I was throwing bills at. Oh man, if we walked in there and it wasn't just an old drunk guy he was with, but some chick, I kind of feel like Kyle would be turned inside out and his sword arm would be pretty useless for a while. Alright, let's see if there's a way up and around. Doesn't look like it. So they said that to head a little further south, but I'm not quite sure how I'm going to go about that, because I kind of... Damon, Guardian of Knowledge. I bet he's got a library rivaling that of Vane. Okay, but also... Didn't I... But how do I... But south. How do I south? That would be a really funny, like, mechanic in a game, though. Like, hear me out. You play through it, you get to make a couple of choices, and imagine if the choices you made in the game actually had some, like, real active effects on what you were doing. Like, I remember, I think it was one of the Breath of Fire games. There was like a city of thieves. And if you go there, and you stay at the inn, you actually get robbed. But one of the shops before you get there sells an item that just seems like really stupid, and it's just like a piece of rope or whatever. And it's like, the item description is probably something along the lines of like meant to keep your wallet shut or something like that. Anyways, if you buy that, it seems like a waste of money because it's also like, again, I'm going off of my memory here, so forgive me if I'm wrong. It's not like a nothing amount of money, but it's also not very expensive. It's right in that sweet spot of, yeah, I don't really want to spend the money, and it just sounds like it just does nothing. If you buy it and then go to that town and then sleep at the inn, you catch the guy that was trying to rob you, and I think you get to stay the night for free because it was like the innkeeper robbing you.
Check this out.
But like, so again, game mechanics that do that are already really cool, but I'm thinking about ones that have like longer term effects. Like, say for example, you make a choice that... I'm sorry, the fuck? Okay, before we get to this, I want to finish my thought, but... So, let's say you make a choice and it results in some sort of minor injury to your character, and suddenly it's like, oh hey, you're suffering a permanent, like, I don't know, -3 dexterity. But, like, you have these kind of moments littered throughout the game. And maybe you have mini games that if you perform well at them, you get, like, you prove that you're capable of a certain thing. You can get buffs as well. And so... playing through the game, you make the right choices, you succeed at the mini games, your character gets naturally stronger. But if you really play through the game like a degenerate, or just make a lot of really dumb choices, you do face real consequences to your character that build up over time. And I'm just picturing it like you're playing this strong, heroic warrior character, and you just make a bunch of dumb choices. And you're basically crippled to the point of your character is damn near running around with like a sprained wrist, or like you're reduced from two-handed swords to one-handed swords because you've gotten the shit kicked out of you that often. I think like mechanics like that build up to themselves. Like again, if you have a Dark Souls like mechanic where you have to, or it goes older than that, but I think a lot of people know it from like Soulsborne games. You have to have certain stat requirements to use certain items. You can just like force yourself out of an entire item tier group, right? Like you just can't use two-handed weapons anymore. What the... Daddy, what are you doing out here? They absolutely brought that statue out here just to fuck with the party. Yep, it's all hallucinations. Jessica, my dear Jessica, please don't leave me here. It's so cold, so lonely. Look, I'm gonna say it right now. I don't think for 1 second, like Jessica should not fall for that. Her dad does not strike me as that kind of guy. Like, if they brought the literal statue of him and had it speak to her in some, like, true sense of him, it's not going to be all sappy like that. It's going to be, Jessica, this shit's whack. Get out there and fuck some heads up. That just seems more his character personality. He loves his daughter, but like he's also should be well capable of knowing who and what she's about. What the? What's happening? What have you done to them? Yeah, she's got to deal with some trauma here. Help me, Althena. Give me the power to break this spell. No, not again. My father, my friends. Kyle, I've lost everyone I cared about. Come to me, Jessica. Join me. Join your friends. You will live forever, and you will never be alone. Yeah, live forever as a statue. Yeah, that's the way to go about it. Kyle?
Gotcha.
Alright, yeah, Kyle's gotta have the, like, communist style, fuck you, my will is too good for this. Mel would never ask his daughter to join him in death. You monster! I don't know what the hell you are, but I'm gonna crack through that stone shell. Come and get it! Again, like, Kyle does just give me, like, a little bit more degenerate in action, but, like, he gives strong Kamina energy, and I love that. Alright, let's beef our attack up. And let's go right in for big swings.
Gotcha.
Alright, we're starting to take a little bit of damage. Let's round that off. Hopefully I have some healing items on hand. I probably should have bought some. Alright, there we go. Take a good old healing nut right in the middle of battle. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know why I did that, but I guess I'm going to take the buff while I have it. Fair enough.
Gotcha.
Oh shit! Does the attack buffing stack? Because that kind of seemed like it did even more damage. Damn, I didn't know that. I popped in and heard Kamina energy. Yeah, so I get a lot of Kamina vibes from Kyle. Which is, as far as the internet's chosen frame of reference, not accurate. But, you know, the dumb, lovable oaf that is also just a bit degenerate and also just my will too strong, fuck you. Curse you. Royce! You've gone way too far this time, you shapely hack. Again. I mean, he's not wrong. I made the mistake of underestimating you, and I shan't do that again. How was I to know you could shatter my magic with a primal scream? Wait until it's my turn. Wait until it's my turn on karaoke night. Tempting, but perhaps later. Kyle. Nothing. I mean, yelling loud, breaking things, that's what I'm here for. And, and besides, too real, Kyle, too real. It felt good to beat up your dad. When you saw I was in danger, you broke out of the stone and... Wait, beat up my... fuck you! Yeah. Yeah, feelings and emotion. What are you two doing? We still have to find our way through this forest. Oh, right, of course. Well, Kyle, lead the way. Yeah. Let's go. Man literally broke out of that just to beat the shit out of her dad. There is something all too real about that. Alright, so gotta work my way south, but I don't quite know how clearly... Oh, it does part here. I just didn't remember it having a parting point. Fair enough. Those who seek the guardian of knowledge must have special knowledge first. Okay, either this is going to be a solve the riddle thing, or it's going to be like the knowledge you seek is going to be found in friendship or some garbage stereotypical JRPG nonsense. Special knowledge? Maybe it's something in the notebook. Oh shit, that's right, they did say something about in the notebook keywords needed to get in. Here it is. Intelligence is the ultimate strength, and wisdom the ultimate power. Oh no, I've never seen somebody like intelligence their way out of a 300-pound press, but you know, you do you. You possess the cornerstone which can become the foundation. You may enter. Step onto the tiles of red to unlock the door and gain entrance. Got it. Step on red. Break things. Understood. Oh, this is going to be a puzzle about which things you step on when and why, isn't it? Alright, give me that first. Or don't, and I'll be honest, that makes more sense than I wish it did. Watch this one be empty too. Yep. I think everybody going through here has been looting this place already. You see, if I was smart, and I'm not, which is why this puzzle is great for a dumb meat brain like me, I would be noting which pressure switches open which doors, and I would be going off of that. Instead, I am just bashing my brain against this thing until things happen. Wait. Are they all just like one and done? Is it really that simple? That feels a little weak sauced. Alright, somewhere there's one more I gotta step on. I was expecting this to be like a full-blown puzzle about doing things the right way, the right order. And now I'm no longer sure of that. Now I've just got to make sure I've stepped on all the right platforms. I didn't even have to do that. Oh no, please don't go and be that. No, you gave me all about intelligence and wisdom, and then it's just, hey, by the way, you can just brute force it. You want to know something? The channel, Fueled by Sandwiches, has referenced this game during quite a couple of their videos, specifically any of their Yu-Gi-Oh! Quiz videos featuring the Mech Knight Avram. If I knew this game better than I do, again, I've referenced that I've played it before, but it's not like I know it inside and out, otherwise I wouldn't be as grasping at straws as I regularly do. That would make a little bit more sense to me. I got the reference because of this very playthrough. Oh, awesome. Damon. There is going to be a lot going on, and what I will say is, in the realm of JRPGs, everybody knows how influential Dragon Quest is. This game is one that comes up in conversation all over the place. If you like JRPGs, odds are you have probably played this game, or you have seen it be talked about at some point. Again, one I've played more than once, but not one that I have played to the massive degree to have it as memorized as I probably wish I did for this playthrough, but it's also kind of the fun of getting to re-experience an absolute gem. I, Damon, have granted you the privilege, which, by the way, I'm not going to necessarily be streaming it, but after this, there is a sequel game, and there is even a 3DS, I think it was 3DS, it might have just been DS, game as well. The one that was just on the DS system is not very good. It's honestly a very bad game, but it does feed into the story, and there is some fun, storytelling that goes on there. If you ever have any interest to look into it, they are going to be a pain in the ass to try and find legitimate copies of, but we do have this as a great entry for people who don't want to sail the great seas to find what they need to find for it. I, Damon, have granted you the privilege to tread where these... Hold on, let me first, so I don't have to lean so into this. have granted you the privilege to tread within these sacred walls. However, if you wish to proceed any further, you must answer my question. What is the origin of our world, created at the hand of Althena? I have a question of my own. What the hell are you talking about? Well, I was about to ask something like that myself. Shouldn't a brilliant student like you know the answer to this one, Nash? Yeah, of course I do. You don't sound too sure, Nash. Alex, why don't we let Mia try to answer this instead? Okay, so Nash is a scholarly student of the magical arts, but he doesn't strike me as somebody who really cares about the origin or the spiritual or the religious element to any of it. He kind of strikes me as, again, ego, power, you know, I'ma just do. Mia, on the other hand, is the daughter of whatever that, like, head archmage whatever lady was. But Mia is also far more involved in the spiritual element, you know, the root of the magic kind of stuff. At least, again, that's the vibe it gives. So I think Mia is the obvious way to go. Good call, Alex. We're counting on you, Mia. My mother spoke to me of this subject long ago. The answer is magic. You are correct. You may enter. I knew you'd do it, Mia, and that was just what I would have said. Because obviously, magic just answers all problems. Eating some Long John Silvers for the first time in years. Okay, I've got to talk about this. Hold on, I will get into this. Most inconsistent plate of food I've ever eaten, quality-wise. Would not recommend. Fish is mid, fries are ass, and the hush puppies are pretty good. Haven't gotten to the crab cake yet. So first of all, yeah, hush puppies are still valid. Let me ask you, in all honesty, think about everybody you know that eats fast food. What I can tell you is a lot of people ask what I'm about to ask about a lot of places, Arby's being one. Now, I know people who like Arby's, and what I can tell you is the people who like Arby's really like Arby's, and that is going to be their place of preference when they have that little bit of cash to go a little bit more than some other cheaper options. So I hear about these fast food joints that people ask, like, how are they still in business? And, like, Arby's comes up and it's like, no, I kind of know how. Like, I don't see the numbers there, but maybe it's not a numbers thing and they are just kind of able to float by on a consistency from a very dedicated base. Fair enough. When was the last time you have ever heard of somebody, not only, I mean, obviously you are one example right now, and it's probably the first one I've had in, like you said, many years. When was the last time that you have heard of somebody going to Long John Silver's? Now ask further. When was the last time you heard somebody actively choosing because they just really wanted Long John Silver's? How does Long John Silver's stay in business? I don't understand that one. Why are you staring at me, cat? How dare you imply that an elite magician of the, magic? Yada yada. Why don't we just save the excuses until we have a chance to explore this place? But yeah, I have, again, the last time I've went there, I would probably say the same experience. I can't say anything good, but I could, like, as far as the overall, but I could look at it and be like, yeah, but the hush puppies are pretty solid. Mind you, you could also just have your own hush puppies, you know, make them yourself, and probably would end up with something even better. Alright, oh, that's gonna hit everybody, but is that really necessary? All right, let's see what this looks like. First of all, that's enemy zone. Okay, so that's going to be good. I think that hits everybody, right? No, that's on himself, I guess, and there's going to be everything around him. Alright, and that's just going to hit 2 no matter what I do. Fair enough. Let's see what that looks like. Oh! They are only able to be hurt by magic. Got it. So, my Muscles McGee characters, they kind of have to hold on and wait a bit. Nope. Yep. I don't get a choice on that one. So let's see. If I auto battle, are they going to waste all of their... No, they're just going to be all physical. Fair enough. Really, it would be more beneficial, I guess, if it starts to look like it's going to be a problem for me to control them, because guarding is going to be just a smarter choice if you can't do anything as it is.
Check this out.
The crab cake is mid. At least they give you more soda than most places, I guess. Okay, that's going to be another point for me to talk about, and that's not this one's not a dig at them specifically. It's at the fast food industry as a whole. Have you noticed, like, all of the prices just getting like wildly absurd? And I'm going somewhere with this. Not only have the prices been going up at a crazy rate at all of these locations, like, you name it, prices have gone up, and maybe at a couple they kind of have a couple of deals going on here and there. But have you noticed, and I'm asking this again because I only know my region on this one, a lot of places as of late... Can I open this and get anything? Hey, we actually got goodies in the chests, so now it's worth opening them again. Have you noticed that a lot of these places are locking their doors, and it's like, some of them you can't go into at all, some of them you can, but it's really only if you are also a paying customer up front. Some of them I've been to, you actually have to have an in-app order that you're going to pick up in-store in order for you to get into the building. So many of these places, like McDonald's and so on, they have an inside eatery location, and it's like you can't even get in.
Check this out.
What is the point of this? Of even keeping that area open, of keeping it... What the fuck's the point if you're gonna start doing that with these locations? And in doing so, you are, you know, obviously eating into the number of people that are wanting to go in there and to have that sit-down experience. But you're also cutting into the people that can do repeat fills on their soda cups. Not only are we seeing this in a lot of locations, there are a couple of spots, and this one's not as widespread, but there's a couple of spots where they actually have like a system to monitor how many cups you've gotten, and they are intentionally limiting how many refills you can get. So if you're gonna sit down there and you're gonna get like your Big Mac meal, like you just you just spent damn near $10 on a meal there, and like those drinks, once you pay for the cup and everything and you get into that position, they're pennies on the dollar for those drinks to fill up. You're gonna tell me that it's that they're saving so much money on people, on the minority of people that are going to go to a McDonald's and sit down, preventing them from having like refills at these locations? Like, it is... I get it. I talk about, like, on the political scale, I lean right, and I do have a little bit more of the free market approach and all of that, but like, I've also mentioned before, like, there is a limit to that. There is, like, I am not laissez-faire capitalism only, rah, rah, rah. So when it comes to these actions that just reek of an absurd amount of corporate greed, they do genuinely bug the fuck out of me. All right, I think I've been over every one of these pressure plates, so let's see if this is opened up or not. Yeah, it's still just a matter of it just is. I keep wanting there to be like some sort of puzzle, and it's just not there. The Taco Bell in my area is notoriously bad for closing without even saying that they're closed on delivery apps. Yeah, and again, like, these places used to have like a certain degree of standardized time. And I get it, COVID changed a lot of that, but like, there is corporate whiplash on so much of this, and maybe it's because I'm getting older and it is just like change is weird. Or maybe it really is, you know, shit's falling apart on that front. To proceed further, you must demonstrate your mental fortitude by answering my question. People who rely entirely on force shall ultimately be destroyed by force. Yeah, well, fuck you. What? We can't use force? I don't know if this is a good or bad thing. Kyle and I are on the same brain wavelength. Calm down, Kyle. If you had listened for once, you know he didn't say that. Please, continue, Damon. But the person who controls force cannot avoid it altogether. What controls force? Well, you just said the person who controls force can't avoid it. I control the force. What kind of game is this, old man? Even I know the answer to that one. Come on, Alex, let me handle this. I don't think this is a question that Kyle can answer. God, I want Kyle to answer it. She's right, Alex. You can't place our fate in the hands of this brain-dead brigand. No, wait, I want him to. Don't stick your nose where it doesn't belong, Nash, or you might get it cut off. Calm down, you two. Alex, this is your call. No, Kyle, please, and let it be the same answer I gave. Ha, see that, Nash? Us real men stick together. Old man, are you ready for the answer? Here it comes. Oh, he literally just attacks him. God damn it. No, he did have it coming. Yeah, I didn't say it when you came in, Rigid, and I apologize. I say it almost all the time to everybody who comes in, and I don't know why I just didn't. My bad, and I apologize for that. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully things are going well. Can't say I'm surprised, Kyle. Are you starting to understand what Damon said about force? Let's hope he does. I don't think he'd survive smacking into that magic barrier again. Jess, save the lecture for until my hearing comes back. If it comes back. Not that I wouldn't mind seeing that spectacle again, but are we ready for the real answer? Now let's hear your guess, Nash. The answer, Damon, is skill. Skill controls force. Well, I would probably say like there's some degree of needing to know when to apply force. I wouldn't call that skill though. I don't know, maybe wisdom? But we are going to give it to him and say that that is the correct answer. I think it's one of those things where like you need to have the wisdom to know when to use your power. And I'm going to bring this full circle with The Legend of Zelda and say the wisdom to know when to use the power and the courage to commit to it. There we go. That's how I'm spinning it. It's very similar, I think, to one of the lines from, oh man, what is it? Like the guy that teaches you swordsmanship in one of the Zelda games. It's supposed to be like one of the heroes from before, but very similar to that, but I'm going to twist it a little bit for my own application here. Well, it's good to see you come through once in a while, Nash. Well, that was quite impressive, Nash. Thank you, Mia, but it really was an easy question. At least for me, anyway. Ah, you just got lucky, Magic Boy. And I guarantee it's gonna run out soon. Don't be so grumpy, Kyle. He got us past the barrier, which is more than you can say. I also still think for the smartass answer, I control force. That would have been a lot better than what he did. Alright, yeah, no, let's just go fight it. Fight the big magic ogres head on. Oh! Oh, we've changed it up! Now it is me who controls the force who breaks the bodies. So yeah, I guess everybody just slap it in the face. At least this is something everybody can do. Oh, it's not that clear. I thought I understood.
Blessing of Athena.
I was all ready to be there, and then I dumb fucked it. Alright, who is getting the sage's clothes? I think it's probably pretty obvious if she will be able to wear it. There we go. Gotta protect my girl. Nash is about to be himselfing his teeth in agony if he doesn't keep his mouth shut. I don't know. I think after getting one over on Kyle, Nash right now is about to be emphasizing a fair bit of self-pleasure in the background. A little self-gratification and patting on the back, as it were. Sorry about that. Nash is a one-man circle of jerks, if you understand. That man seems to be in a great deal of pain. He's clutching his stomach. Perhaps food poisoning? I haven't had that since the last time Jess whipped up a batch of laxative chocolate cookies. Hey, I thought they were chocolate chunks, okay? The overpowering stench might have been your first clue? Look, that came later. You know, fair enough. If somebody puts a plate of chocolate cookies in front of you, first of all, somebody you trust enough to not intentionally try to poison you. Do you really even stop to smell them, or are you just eating those cookies because goddamn chocolate chip cookies hit? Nash totally does things in front of the mirror to himself. Well, of course. Who else is going to give him the kind of eye candy he's looking for? Mia? He's got the picture to get started, but he needs that good finishing material. What's wrong, Alex? Nothing. Let's leave this sick little conversation behind and get on with things. We'd better find out what's really wrong with the guy on the floor. Are you feeling ill, sir? It's nothing. I'm busy. The fuck away from me. It's absolutely gotta be rude as fuck. Well, excuse us for caring. Don't worry about this guy, Alex. If he says he's okay, then he must be okay, right? Besides, there's already a staircase, so let's go. Wait just a minute. You're a priestess, aren't you? Well, yes. Only a priestess of goddess Athena is allowed to wear these robes. It's your job to help people in distress, isn't it? So use one of those healing spells they teach you out there. What are you babbling about? When Mia asked a second ago, you said it was nothing. That was then, this is now. Snap, snap. Get to the healing spell. Until I know the cause of your pain, I don't know what kind of magic to use. Please, tell us what's wrong. It's my stomach, just all of a sudden. Well, it's probably something you ate. What should I do, Alex? Help this guy out or just get back to finding the next door? Well, I don't know. Help him out, humble him. Well, his pain seems genuine at least. I guess help him out. Come on, Alex, the guy's a jerk, and I tend not to want to help anyone who yells at me or calls me sugar. Please, Jess. Alex wouldn't have asked if he didn't think it was the right thing to do. Kind of a bit of a bitch like that, but I get it. Yeah, you're right. I should help him, regardless of his lack of social skills. Your actions were correct. You may proceed. Know that I am impressed by your performance thus far. I'm not impressed by your last test, Damon. That wasn't fair. Young lady, you are hardly in a position to tell me what. I don't want to hear any excuses. I just want to tell you not to pull like something like this again. Eat shit and run, old man. Jess, your mood swings are more violent than a hurricane. I'm sorry. What? Nothing. Let's move along. All right, I'm gonna keep going around though. I feel like there's another treasure chest in here for me to open up. If someone puts a plate in front of me with chocolate chip cookies,
By the power of Athena.
I'm gonna go into a diabetic coma. Okay, in your case that makes sense, but also I've gotta ask further. Again, the idea being people not knowingly poisoning you, so I'm fairly certain that you can get some like low sugar things to make like a diabetic. I don't know if you can get something that's diabetic safe. I feel like that's kind of an oxymoron when you're talking about chocolate chip cookies. But I seem to recall like there are certain ingredients you can get that are going to be like low sugar, sugar alternatives, things like that. And you can probably get to something that's rather... Again, I hesitate to say diabetic safe, but I will use that word for lack of a better term. And if that's the case, and I'm not entirely incredibly wrong about that, I do want to further ask, have you tried those? And if so, how do they taste? Alright, I think that was 2 chests on this floor, and that kind of seems to be the running rate to expect. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any more there. Alright, just gonna get in there. The diabetic coma is how they'd poison me. Well, yeah, so that's why I'm saying if they were in the know, that my intention would be to try and go the diabetic, again, for lack of a better term, safe route with that. The white chocolate macadamia nut cookies from Subway hit harder than nearly any other cookie in my opinion. I know the exact kind of cookie you're talking about, and first of all, yes they do, but also that's not just at Subway. A lot of the widely available ones you can get are going to be that way, and you're really just looking for anything that's going to be, if you're looking to do your own recipe, anything that is going to give you that soft, chewy approach. And yes, white chocolate macadamia nut cookies do just slap hard. With that said, now I've got to ask, what is everybody's favorite cookie type? Because there's a couple of options that are out there available with the modern availability that aren't necessarily the traditional. And so, you know, I'm curious how creative we're going to get with this and see where it goes. Because I actually have a favorite that is probably not in the direction you'd probably expect. It's not like super wild and out there, but it's just not like the absolute classic answer that a lot of people would, you know, assume. All right, I almost got out of there. I've had cookies that were made more diabetic safe, not homemade. They were pretty good, to be honest. So, trying to think how to play this out. I guess I'm just not going to play word games with it. So, my girlfriend's sister graduated not too long ago from high school. And one of the things that she had to consider when she was looking at doing the whole dessert tray was diabetic safe desserts.
Sing about Thina.
And what I will say from that is I have not tried a lot of the diabetic safe options, and so being there at her graduation party and seeing those made available, I was rather interested, and those are what I tried more of, because again, I was looking at it at this thing like I was interested. I was curious what they're going to taste like, because I don't try those things very often because I'm not diabetic. And what I will say is a lot of those are surprisingly good, better than I expected. There is a big texture difference between each option, you know, cookies, cupcakes, things like that, certain candies, chocolates. The biggest thing that I remember is, yeah, maybe not as sweet as the other option, but in some cases that even worked to its benefit, because sometimes things are just too sweet and too almost sickeningly sweet. And so having like the less sweet was a nice treat. But the other thing is there was a certain texture difference, again, in some cases actually working to its benefit, but not across the board. Honestly, you know, there are some things that probably are just better in that way, as we have gotten so much better at making them available and the option explorations. Cookie dough is the king, though, but if that doesn't count, my mom does make the best peanut butter cookies. Peanut butter cookies are an absolute classic, and I would say that... I would say that that's probably one of, if not my favorite. However, I would have to be very specific and very narrowed down. So, if we're just talking about peanut butter cookies, my father used to make those all the time. And I swear when I make them, they're just never as good. They never hit the same. And so they leave me longing for the days that my father would make peanut butter cookies. And so, like, I can't in good conscience give it to peanut butter cookies because I'm missing the magic, you know? And my grandmother made those peanut butter cookies with the giant Hershey's Kiss. I'm sure there's a proper term for them. I don't know what it is. But she made those a lot. And again, if we're talking about allowing those things, that comes into play. I don't make them as good as she did. There was something about that hard crystal outer casing that she always got on the actual cookie, the soft inside. Like, that lady worked magic. I can't replicate that. I'm not going to give it to that. Again, this is for me personally. So the cookie that I make that is really good is a soft crumble. It crumbles and it's soft as you chew it, but it's got a strong initial snap, and it's just an old Slavic. There's a proper term for it, and I can't think of what the actual term is. I've just got the recipe in an old cookbook. But it's basically just a butter cookie. But there's something about that break apart, melty gooiness that as you eat it, it just disintegrates and coats your mouth in a burst of flavor. It's like blowing a hard cookie and then just getting that busted nut of flavor in your mouth. I know that's a terrible way to say it, and I said it that way with the absolute intention of that, but also it's kind of accurate. Give me a second here to grab a drink here. Sorry about that. Those no-bake peanut butter oatmeal cookies also slap hard. I would say absolutely as well. My Aunt Robin, again, not my actual aunt, but a family friend that is referred to as such. She actually makes like a white chocolate drizzled version of those. And that is always gonna be my favorite. So it really is just like a no-bake cookie, but then like you take the white chocolate, like melt it down, you get a nice gooey, and you just do a piping bag over the whole thing, and you get those little stripes, and it hardens differently than the actual like cookie as it sits there, you know. And so you get the different texture, and it's got this almost crackly pop as you bite into it that the rest of the cookie doesn't have, and it gives it just enough of that texture difference that it almost gives you that same mouthfeel experience of a nice chocolate chip cookie. It's just magic. If you wish to proceed further, you must make a decision. In making your way through the spire, who was the least helpful? He or she must admit their weakness and leave immediately. What the hell are you talking about? None of us are going anywhere, Damon. Either you surrender your weakest member, or you shall all perish. Okay, so right now I'm already looking at this on 3 fronts, right? First of all, if I really truly have to get rid of somebody, the most useless was Null. Part of our party, in the group, our little dragon cat, I love him dearly, but what did he accomplish through here? Obviously, you know, if we have to get rid of a human member, that goes to Mr. Slam the Magic Wall. But my other thought here is you ride hard and you commit. You play his game and you challenge it, right? You stick with what Kyle said, already proving by the rule of Japanese RPG and anime bullshittery. Kyle, by saying none of us are going anywhere, has given the answer that none of us were worthless here, and we're all gonna go forward as a group. Yada yada yada, friendship garbage, we know where that's going, right? That's the way I'd commit to this, and I would follow it up by saying that because Kyle said that, he had value in the group too. So there you go. Nobody can leave. Speaking of oatmeal cookies, Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies, those aren't cookies. They even sell them as like something else. They are some sort of additional sweet dessert treat. But yes, Little Debbie is the greatest cocaine drug dealer in the planet. Like that's just a fact. Are my most eaten snack of all time? I'm willing to bet throughout my life I've probably eaten at least 10,000. Again, Little Debbie is just, she is the big back energy dope slinger. And everybody knows it. She sells packets of crack. That said, if I'm going to look at there and look at the lineup that comes to my mind, I can't think of every Little Debbie cake off the top of my head. Oatmeal cream pies are really good. I can't deny that. I am also a big fan of the, I don't even know if like all of the ones that I know about are still available. It's been so long since I've eaten any. There used to be like the banana cakes and you had the cream filling. Something about those were always super nice for me. Another top contender, and I've got to rattle through it on my head. I know where my winner is, and I'll get to that one in a second. Nutter Butter. That's what I was trying to think of. That's the name. Nutter Butter is a high tier Little Debbie cake. I'm not necessarily sitting here like I'm going to go through a Little Debbie tier list, but I probably could, and I feel confident that I'd be giving biblically accurate Little Debbie cake tier listings here. My number one though is it's not the Swiss cake rolls, it's not the chocolate covered Swiss, the strawberry one of those. You get the little bit of icing on the bottom, you get the Little Debbie cocaine meth cake, you get that it's almost disgustingly sweet strawberry syrup that goes throughout it. and every single bite the whole way through is a clean, decent bite. And if you're one to want to play with your food, you can break that little chocolate shell layer in just the right section. You can like unwrap it and snap it off at certain points, and then you got these like almost poppable pieces of it. Like there's a bunch of ways to go through and eat it. You can play with your food. It's pretty solid, and it hits a lot of the notes that you really like out of a good little Tebby, you know, drug addiction moment. Twinkies are the origin point of my childhood obesity. They are my kryptonite, and I refuse to eat Twinkies for that very reason. Alright, I don't remember what they're called, and I don't think they're made by Little Debbie. I think they're made by the same people who make Twinkies, but, Zingers. Is it Zingers I'm thinking of? They're the yellow cake. They're basically a Twinkie. I swear to God that it's not the same exact cake, but it's damn close. But they're basically Twinkies with that, like yellow vanilla frosting on top. Those are also really good. Either you surrender your weakest member, yada yada yada. Did I mention how much I hate you, old man? This is a real problem, Alex. How are we going to decide which one of us leaves? We can't decide because none of us was the least helpful. We made it this far by working together, Alex. That's true, but I don't think... I almost just lost the desk here again. Alright, so yeah, if you're in the Discord, you probably saw my comment. Because of the situation and the things not being as they normally are, in setup, I had actually collapsed the desk on a bunch of my stuff. The microphone flew across the room. I almost just did that again. Sorry about that, guys. That's true, but I don't think Damon cares. So what are we gonna do, Alex? I love that it's Kyle no matter what. Yes! Yes! Kyle can't leave. And it's not even, you're not even saying nobody can leave. It's just, not Kyle, no! It's not even like you are outing him, but also saying that no, he gets to stay. Then who? Jessica's not weak. It can't be Mia. Of course it can't be. We'd never do anything like that. I just love this, like the smug like face that he's given on that one. But who's left? I'm sorry. I won't give up on Ash. And the only one left is... Okay, you know, there is something respectable about that, but I'm going to go with we aren't making anyone leave. This is impossible. None of us were less important than the other. But if we don't pick someone, we can't go to the next floor. I don't care. Fuck this old man. And I feel like Kyle is like, well, yeah, if it's gotta be done... I can't be worthless here. I don't care. It's just as Mia said before. We all worked as a team to get here. None of us is any less important than the others. Well said, Alex. Unfortunately, now we all die. Well said indeed. If you were not aware of your importance as individuals and as a group, it would be impossible for you to overcome the many obstacles that yet lie ahead. You may proceed. Am I the only one who's noticed how this old fart really enjoys messing with our heads? Yeah, this old guy's starting to tick me off. Really starting to tick me off. Please calm down, you two. All that matters now is that we continue to the next floor. Yeah, that is definitely gonna be a trap. Do not eat the food left for the shrine. Zingers are just Twinkies with icing. I know that's what they're supposed to be, but I swear there is something different about the cake between the two. They're very similar, but Like maybe there's like just a little bit more filling, or maybe it's a little bit more of that just absolute tear your gut apart oil that's in the Twinkie. But there is just something a little bit different between the two. Only two things can survive a nuclear war: roaches and Twinkies. Family Guy is not wrong about that, and I literally just referenced like the absolute preservative enriched oil that just cakes through those things. Is it just me, or is it unusually peaceful on this floor? I don't feel any nearby magic, but I think Kyle is wise to be suspicious. God, I can't believe I just said that. Kyle, wise? Maybe the monsters ran away because they heard we are kicking butt and taking names. Maybe Damon gave up the test because he knows we're just going to pass them all. Well, that would be nice and all, but I think we should stay alert until we reach the top. Yeah, what Mia said. Cat. I have never heard somebody use cat like a slur before, but you know, I guess it just happened. Well, excuse me for thinking positive, Nash. Alright, yeah, nothing around any other way there. Alright, I do feel like we are going to get close to some sort of boss fight-like moment. So I want to top off here. HP is pretty high. HP is not pretty high. But I think I have to use it through here. So let's go through a little bit of HP. I mean, it's not really worth it. Nah, Kyle probably worth it. Alright, and make sure I save here as well. You solved the riddle. Congratulations, you can make your way to the hunter exam. I'd imagine the P word is slang for that part of a woman, would be a slur for cats, not gonna lie. Yeah, but also, like, Null sees himself more as, like, a dragon. So, he sees himself as a dragon. He's very dragon cat-like. So, you know, lean into the least intimidating, badass part of him. I see how cat is being used as a slur here. And I feel like I should probably have a censor bar going over every time I say cat at this point. But I don't have that tool set up for anything. What's this? A big lump of clay? And what are we supposed to do with this exactly? You will sculpt the clay into an image of what you consider to be a priceless treasure. However, if your creation fails to impress me, you shan't be allowed to enter my private chamber. This lump's too big of us for us to sculpt it alone, so the 5 of us have to work together. Oh, we make Luna! That's the obvious answer, right? Our friend that we are going on this adventure to try and save is the most priceless treasure that we have, and it's why we're already looking at getting a piece of priceless treasure to give to somebody else so that we can so that we can make all this worth doing in the first place. Be warned there. Be warned, there be cringe on them waters. Hey, what about me? Since we can't each make our own treasures, one of us will have to direct the others. Look, I'm the resident brigand and treasure expert, so I think the choice is obvious. Unless someone has a problem with that. Jess? Hold on a second, guys. Sorry about that. Good old seasonal allergies kicking my butt, and add to it the failing throat capacity of my vocal cords as I keep going here. Yeah, I do. We all have to make this decision, Kyle. And you just have us make something worthless anyways. Something trashy like a big bar of gold. Indeed he would, whereas I live in Vane, the most beautiful city in the world. I'm bursting with precious artistic sensibility. Back off, Eogangel. The last thing I need is you and Kyle to have a narcissism duel. God, I want that, though. Mia, who do you think should decide what to make? Well, since we have no idea what will impress Damon, I believe we should take turns guiding our sculpting efforts. I knew Mia was the smartest of all of us. Okay, Alex, who's gonna be the first leader? Not Kyle. Sorry, Kyle. Then who? God, it almost feels like it should be me to start it off. Not Jessica. Could be Mia, but not Mia. Not Nash. Yeah, I'm gonna give it... I feel like this could be another one where it's like I don't trust myself either, but I'm gonna give it a try. Of course, leave it to me, Alex. Pay attention, Alex. I told you not to... Not like... Kyle, fuck you! Yeah, not even because you're screwing up, just because! Nash, are you sure you don't want to take a break? Way to go, Mia! It's just beautiful, Alex. It really looks like the goddess. Well, of course it does. You had me to fix all of your mistakes. This is indeed a beautiful treasure. You have passed the final test. I guess I said that in reference to a deleted comment. I guess so? 'Cause I don't see anything else that I don't see anything that I missed. Alex, I was trying to make a statue of Luna, but everyone else thinks it's the goddess. Weird. Yeah, certainly not the telling continued theme going on here. You needn't explain why you have come. Here is the book you seek. Wait, I thought we came here for like some big fanciful gem. The Way of Thieves. Will you read us a few pages, Damon? Rule 1. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the fancy voice anymore. We're not speaking through the palace. We're just right now. It's just the help counter guide at your local Walmart. Rule 1: always be careful. Rule 2: don't get caught. Rule 3: see rules 1 and 2. How is reading that gonna help anyone be a thief? Huh. Maybe it's time for me to write a book. Alex, are you still pursuing the way of the Dragon Master? Yeah? Of course. You have green eyes, and everybody with green eyes is obviously... I have green eyes. I like this rule. Is capable of being a Dragon Master. I believe it will be in your best interest to read all the books in my spire. You must work diligently to absorb all the generations of knowledge amassed within them. I shall remove the magic seals that prevent them from being read by those who have not impressed me. It's an honor to be allowed to into your library, Lord Damon. Yeah, well, fuck you, Nash. Thank you, Nash, but you have earned your access to these tomes. Besides, knowledge is meaningless if it is not shared with others. Even if that knowledge is difficult to accept. You will learn this to be true, Alex, and you must prepare yourself for it. You should return this book to the Thieves Guild quickly, Alex. Your time is increasingly precious. How does he know all this stuff about you specifically, Alex, and why is he not gloating on everybody else? I'm here and I'm important. The Prophecies of Damon. I sent it in DM. All right, there we go. Let me take a look here. If this isn't censored because something is able to understand the context. So yeah, this didn't come through. This has got to be censored because of the context to it. And I find it rather impressive that the YouTube system is picking up on that. Because I don't see any particular word here that is just immediately triggering to what I would see as the system. I've heard someone use female like a slur. Look up top 10 hottest Sonic female characters on YouTube for further context. Like, I can see a couple of things there in, you know, when you read into and interpret from what's being said, that I could see YouTube being like, yeah, probably not the best words there. But, you know, the comment be warned, there is cringe on those waters was also applicable to what was going on in the moment. So, you know, double win. But yeah, I'm surprised that YouTube got all pissy about that. Dragon Master Dine set into motion the series of events that would decide the fate of our world. But that fate will rest in the hands of Dine's successor, a young man with the power of love on his side. Didn't we also hear that, like, Dine, like, failed or whatever, or succumbed to his love? So, you know, love is what killed Dine, but then love is going to be what his successor is required to have. The evil which infected the blue star now rears its misshapen head on our serene world. And this evil would delight in once again annihilating the children of Althena. Is this the Dark Tribe? Are we allowed to call them that? That feels like a slur again. I'm fairly certain we're just supposed to call them Africans. And that's a joke! Don't take that out of context! Look, they literally write that as like, they call it the Dark Tribe. Don't give me any shit. The goddess has tried to destroy this. Oh, that is the dumbest thing I've ever said on this channel. I apologize. The goddess has tried to destroy this great evil, but cannot. Yeah, darkness in their hearts, it will always survive. In all honesty, it really does seem like the Dark Tribe, like, in lore. Because didn't they say, like, they were wiped out or something before, too? Like, it really seems like the Dark Tribe is probably people who just give into evil to a deep enough degree that it manifests a new reality for it. Like, it's the kind of thing that just can't be eradicated truly, because it's more of a concept than it is an actual race or group. Also, why one of them can be an elf and, like, everybody else seems rather human. The end of one adventure is also the beginning of the next. History becomes legend, and dreams become reality. Am I reading these backwards? Like, am I going out of order? Tiny angels with gossamer wings frolic around a shimmering spring. Okay, but, like, what is that a prophecy of? The power of the dragons will be lost, but hope shall be found within the shining blue star. The world will shudder, and the sky will darken. When magic meets metal, many innocents will be slain. Alright, so innocent people will die. Angels will dance around a blood fountain. The dragons are gonna go away. Dine died because of love, but hey, you need to have love to be better than him too. And what was this one? Right, the blue star is infected, but also the blue star is needed to save everything. And also the evil in all of man will... Good luck, you're screwed, everything is fucked, it'll all burn to the ground. Bye-bye. There you go. That's your summary. You know, I'm rather surprised nobody called me out for the dumbassery of that comment I made earlier. I appreciate that. Alright, nope. I don't want to fight any more like clay-made creatures. Gumby's rejected cousins are not on my to-fight list right now. Is that the last one? Nope, not yet. Where was it? There it is. Alright, and I think I've got one more, because I think the last one was like in the bottom left. Yep, there it is. Which gets me out of here. Bye, losers. I will say, though, kind of weird that I've unlocked all of that. I'm going to go up here and heal, too. I've unlocked all of that, and everybody's still wandering around like they don't know what they're doing. Oh, God, and I'm still some sort of slumming it peasant with no soap. How can I wash my ass if I don't have any soap? Alright, was this the Thieves Guild? I don't think this was the Thieves Guild. Where did I go? Where is this? Who are you people? Did I just find the Amish? Or like a weird inventor bro? He's hopeless. I've told him 1,000,000 times to clean his room before he lost something important, and now... Oh, hi, how can I help you today? What is this? Where am I? Why is this? Where did I go? Alright, was it around the bend or was it further down south this way? Alright, it would have been around the bend up here, I guess. That at least looks familiar. Yeah, okay, I think this is it. And we did have the goddess statue right here. So, heal up on that. Going to make sure I save again, because we dealt with all of that, and we read all the prophecies, and we appeased, I don't know, some old man somewhere. I wouldn't call you out for saying something dumb. I do that like all the time. Literally just remembered. Thank you very much, Richard. Again, a thing that I had forgotten to do. Because that just seems to be the way I live my life, forgetting things. Hey, Kyle, you passed. Congratulations, my friend. Mazel tov. And I'd say the first round's on me, but you know I'm a cheapskate. Buy a beer, fucker. Oh, and yeah, welcome to the Thieves Guild. And yeah, here you go. The door behind the counter is the entrance to the Thieves Bazaar. Don't worry, guards come here all the time, angry from some king whatever guy. Oh, they don't give a shit. I give them beer, they leave me alone. I think it's a good place to start looking for your item. And when you show your crest to whoever is selling it, got it. Make sure that you tell them that you're a member of the Thieves Guild and that you're not allowed to steal from Thieves Guild members. Even though it really seems like that's the ideal person to steal from. Like, you know you're a good thief when somebody is good enough to be in the Thieves Guild and you're able to steal from the Thieves Guild. That gave the same where the fuck are we vibes as the send-off spring in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers. God, I don't think I ever beat that. I have it, and it's honestly a really fun game just because the Mystery Dungeon games are generally enjoyable. But I don't think I've beaten that one. Alright, ma'am. Say, I haven't seen you around here before. Are you friends of Grandpa's? My name's Lily. I'm Jessica, Lily. I know your grandpa told you this, but I'll tell you just in case. You really shouldn't be so trusting of strangers. Please tell me Lily's gonna be like, fuck you on about. I steal from people all the time. Like, that's kind of just my thing to do. Alright, I was wondering if that was a box I could check out. Alright, looks like I can't check any of her things. I'm willing to bet that box up there was a gift from her granddad, and that's going to be the item we need because that really seems to be standing out on top of everything else in there. Just my gut instinct. Do we have some? Oh, be right back. Sorry about that. I had to go check on the dogs. As I was going on there, I heard one of them shriek. And so it was just like, yeah, gonna go deal with whatever that was about. And I don't know what it was about. They both seemed pretty fine. So might have just been a little bit of a bicker moment there. Sorry about that. And yes, again, if you read the Discord, I did say this. I did take my dog over to where my mother is. So, you know, got that going on here. So got them dealing with that somewhere else, so. The music of this town makes me think of coconuts and the possibility of them falling on someone's head. Well, howdy do, savvy shoppers. Have I got a primo purchase for you, my friends? It's a thing with wings. I have no idea how to use them. They have magic in them, or something. Look, want us to teach you how to use them, pal? Hey, you're the... See this crest? Recognize it? Yep, Thieves Guild, buddy. I know you know what that means, kiddo. But you weren't in the Thieves Guild when I stole this from you. You don't know that. You're gonna split hairs with Kyle of Nanza, huh? Not a healthy choice. You're that Kyle? Well, spank my ass and call me Pink. I just ripped off the king of all rip-offers. The point is, I got bragging rights. Magic wings? Is this a barbecue? No, it's a can of Red Bull. You got dragon wings. Here's your thingamadoo back and a little something extra. No hard feelings, okay? Hey, we are no longer peasants who can't wash our ass. Scrub real good between them cheeks. My popularity precedes me, Jess. Popularity, I think the word you want is notoriety. Alright, does anybody else have like some really cool shit here? I'm not even like looking for lore or anything. Anybody got good stuff to buy? Armor, shields, I am in the market. Give me things to make me die less. Alright, none of that. Defense go up. Defense go up. Alright, defense go up. Always and forever. Make numbers bigger. Alright, there we go. So which one of you guys down here have weapons? Because why does this witch outfit, like, it is barely a few pixels. This is giving off strong, sexy witch energy. Humble greetings, shoppers. Care to look at some magic goods from Vane? Well, we receive stolen goods from Vane every day, so stop in frequently. Jeez, I don't understand a word that's written on these blueprints. It's like having a treasure chest full of gold and not being able to pick the lock. Alright, nobody down here is selling like make me swing weapons harder goods, so guess we move on. Dragon wings, hold the buffalo sauce, but barbecue please. Fair enough. Lily, why don't you come with us? I'm gonna take us to a real neat place. Oh no, Grandpa's gonna be worried. No, he won't. I'll tell him where we're going. Now, come on. Need to go have a little fun with you. She is saying yes way too easily. That voice, it's Royce. And I totally didn't mean to rhyme there. Wait, Lily, don't go anywhere with her. Royce wants to take you to a scary, faraway place. Well, well, I knew there was a pack of bullshit prepubescents in my future. I just didn't know when you'd show up. I can't believe you'd stoop so low as to kidnap a child, you sagging... We're just gonna call her a sagging sack because... Oh, that's better than what you came up with already. Just end it there. It was good enough, and then you ruined it. Now, watch the language around the dear little girl, shall we? Hey, witch, care to explain why you're kidnapping singers before I lop your head off? I'm afraid that's a secret, you muscle-bound twit. Unless, of course, you care to come along with Lily and me to the frontier. Come now, little girl, we have so much to do. Lily, what's going on? Grandpa, help me! Help, Grandpa! The bad lady wants to take me! Make numbers go up. They've got pills for that. If you have stat boosts lasting longer than 4 hours, please consult your local cleric. Oh, that's good. I like that. I kind of need to remember that quote because I think that would be a great thing to do for a D&D campaign. Just make... Again, I could drop that at any point with anything that is just a temporary buff. And it could be kind of fun. Like, legitimately, you could put that on a t-shirt. Please excuse me, Alex. How could I leave without peering into your future? Your dreams of becoming the Dragon Master are extinguished along with the Crimson Spirit. Oh, how I hate to be the bearer of bad news. They're fucking with the Red Dragon. That Fortune. Alex, she's talking about the Red Dragon. That's the only crimson-colored creature I can think of. If that's right, Galleon's going for the Red Dragon next. We have to find him first. None of you are going anywhere. Not until you tell me what the hell is happening around here and where they took my granddaughter. That's what we're trying to figure out. All we know for sure is that the Vile Tribe... Okay, you know what? They did call it the Vile Tribe, and I just dumbassed my way into that. I don't know why I thought it was the other thing, but you know, it is not the first time I dumbassed my way. So yeah, foot in mouth, coming out my ass, kicking myself in the butt. I'm just gonna stew on my own failure there. Yeah. They're kidnapping singers. We haven't been able to stop them. And we need to find the Red Dragon before Ian shoves his foot in his mouth again. The Red Dragon? Well, its cave is west of here, but you can't get there by land. However, I have a friend who knows how to get there another way. Follow me to the Thieves Bazaar. God, our party is just getting bigger and bigger. Speaking of bigger and bigger, again, numbers go up. Get your blue potions. Alright, shut your face, listen up. This is the thief who's been working inside the Red Dragon Cave. Oh, but you're not just gonna... You know the guy. Shouldn't you be, like, some introductions or something? There's an impassable mountain. There's an impassable mountain pass. You understand the problem with this sentence here, right? Yeah, okay. Impossible by foot, anyways. But I, acquired the design blueprints for a giant airship that would let you fly right over the mountains. Admittedly, I haven't been able to make it a bit of sense out of them. But maybe they'll help you in your search for Lily. Alright, we gotta... Those weren't Amish, they were inventors! Take these to... talk to an inventor there. I don't know if that's Luck or Illick. I'm gonna go with Illick. I think he'll be able to help you. Could you be any less specific? There has to be more than one. At the very least... Wait, what's going... There's a... Well, okay. As I was going to say, at least, you know, when I shove my foot in my mouth, I am willing to own up to my failures. I heard you broke into Damon's Spire. Nice work. Have you considered signing up for a tour of duty? You're literally trying to get me to sign up into the military after joining the Thieves Guild, coming to this hold through the Thieves... Oh, wait, that makes sense. The government is working with the Thieves Guild. You know what? Nope, I'm just going right in that. That makes perfect sense, and I don't need to ask any further questions. What do we got up here? Yeah, no, I'm not even reading. I don't want to read anything that could even slightly interrupt my interpretation of what's going on here, because that just... too perfect. All right, let's talk with our buddy here before we head out. Oh, I agree, Alex. Kidnapping a child is despicable, but We shouldn't worry about Lily yet. The Vile tribe must be taking singers because they need them, so they're not going to harm her. You have to keep focusing on finding a way to reach the Red Dragon Cave. I mean, who am I to argue with wisdom here? Something mafia government collaboration. Absolute. Again, it is the perfect interpretation of everything going on. And that's why I don't even want to read anything. It is just perfect the way it is. All right, so I think I wrap back around to the right and then drop down and left. Like instructions to having sex. You just gotta appreciate the angle of the dangle and work with the heat of the meat. So what will my brother do after he descends to the bottom of the ocean? He needs to think before he starts building inventions. It's not fair. You want an example? The washing machine he built started out as an indoor jacuzzi. Well, look, sometimes inventions deviate from what you thought you were building. Thanks to my brother's great machine, clothes dry faster in... Oh, it's in Illic. Illic isn't a person, it's a place. Than anywhere in the world. And people give me tips if I crank faster to dry the clothes quicker. Oh, they give him literal tips. Okay. Well, back to work making money drying clothes. I mean, look, man. The hustle is real and I respect it. I just noticed Kyle has upside down crucifix earrings. He must listen to a lot of Black Sabbath. Okay, so it's kind of the running gag. After all, he's dating essentially a lady priest. So, a female cleric. So there you go, reading into it. These are my blueprints. They were stolen from you by the Thieves Guild of Reza, but we got them back. Thank you very much, but why would thieves be interested in the blueprints for a balloon? Look, thieves are interested in anything that looks like money. Oh well, I'll never be able to understand the criminal mind. My name is Shira. I'm an inventor, and I recently moved here so I could focus on my work. I wish I had something to give you as thanks, but we inventors tend to live hand to mouth. I'm sorry. Could you maybe build the balloon? Well, we need to get over the mountains so we can find the Red Dragon Cave. I see. Well, now that I have my blueprints back, I can build you a balloon to fly to the cave. But to make it fly, I need a fluffy bag, a fluffy bug, and the one I had escaped into the field north of here. No problem. We'll catch the bug while you build the balloon. Wonderful. I'll get started on it right away. Don't forget to ask the botanist for permission to enter the field. It's really weird that we have to ask the botanist. Wait. Ew! Didn't realize there was something down here. And... God, I hope they're sleeping here and those aren't tables for other activities. Oh, you want to catch fluffy bugs? Well, it's fine with me. It's fine with me, children. I like to encourage interest in horticulture. But you should be aware that we have pua bugs out there too. And even I can't tell them apart. So how are we going to tell them apart? Well, how about we go in the field first, look around, see what happens. I'll open the entrance for you and you can go into the field anytime. Just make sure to close the gate behind you. We don't want any bugs getting out of there. I thought it was you I was going to have to talk to. Please tread carefully in the field. We're conducting experiments with various seedlings. And please don't eat anything. The effects could be disastrous. Alright, watch out for seeds. Don't eat anything. Catch the right bugs. Speaking of which, my housemate recently got his hands on a pair of fake hundreds that have been used as movie props. Awesome. Have you ever seen the way that they will fake large stacks of money in the background of a shot? They actually use just these big bricks of intentionally left fuzzy looking money. And it doesn't have to look particularly great, and it's stacked up in a way so that they literally can just pile it high, and you really, more often than not, will only see the top of them, and they're meant to be fuzzy because it's not the focus of the movie shot. I've kind of wanted to get my hands on some of those. I think you can buy some of those movie props even on Amazon. But something about that one just kind of strikes me as fun and interesting. Also, the idea that I could put it in a chest, shove it in the back corner, and just leave it there as a real-life in-action movie prop. He told me he got them from some random guy at the flea market. Yeah, again, things like that are kind of cool to come across. Especially if you have any sort of certificate of authenticity or anything that ties it to a direct movie. That's kind of a lot more interesting in my opinion. And it gives you talking pieces, right? Things that you can have that are fun story things to bring out and share with people and talk about for the first time you're bringing it up to them.
Check this out.
All right, let's let these things work through it.
Hurry up the flame.
And actually, I'm going to back out and I'm going to save here because I think this is probably a pretty good spot to wrap this stream up. And I do have to go deal with the pups. I'm sure they both probably need a good walking outside. So thank you so much, everybody, for stopping in. I hope to see you next time, and I hope you have a great time in between. Another hope is that maybe I'll be able to run a stream Wednesday. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, as always, I hope you guys have a good one. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.